welcome to episode 13 of the Seed to Harvest series. We got a couple things flowering. We got our vegetables flowering. All this over here in that tent, and this one is vegging, and then this one is in week 3 of flower. So let's break this down real quick. So we're about 78 degrees. 68% humidity. Now we're going to start dropping that down now that we're into that week 3 stage. So we're going to drop that down to about 65% humidity, and then we'll drop that 5% as the weeks go on. You see we got a nice even canopy here. We started to train this with the LST clips, these bud trainer clips, and then we added this scrog so we could bend and weave and tuck. And now that it's past this stage, what we kind of do is come in here with our hands and just lay this stuff down. You can come in here too and do a little super cropping. So you're coming here, pinch and roll this and bend it down. You never want to super crop in the same spot. It's going to form a knuckle and become more strong. When you defoliate, if you want to defoliate, you could clean this canopy a little bit more, give it a little more airflow. We do have 2 fans blowing in here at about 8 speeds, so we got some decent airflow. But if you do defoliate, you can see how we just dropped the leaves in here. This is when we started to see a little bit issues, because underneath here is going to be damp, get no light, and it's going to start this ecosystem and could be issues for pests or pill bugs. So I would break these up into little pieces. It's just finer particles for the microbes to break down. You could even push it underneath the dirt a little bit if you're too worried about it. But you can see that we got some active soil from this mycelium. This is a sign that the soil is active and it's composting as we speak. So it's a really good sign to see that. So if you see it, don't freak out. This is a good thing to see in the soil. And you see we got our Eco Wet Soil Moisture down there. I highly recommend it. They're less than 20 bucks, I believe. And you want to shoot around to about 45% for perfect moisture. 25 to 30% is a little drier on the living soil side. So we try to stay up in the mid 30s to 40s. And then when it dips below that, you'll start watering. But everything's looking really good in here, Gromies. We're not going to do any top dressings. This is a 100-gallon bed of old soil that we re-amended with that Mechanibus Luke re-amend bundle, the compost, craft blend, and castings. So she's still looking good. We got nice health in here, nice great green growth. And that's why I love once we get past the scrog. You could double scrog this, but I feel at this point they're going to be done stretching here soon, and we're not going to be training much. So after this week, we're not going to be doing any training. We'll just water it and let her go. We're going to raise this up to about 700 ppfd, and we'll start slowly bringing that up as we go as well. So let's go over here and check out this 4x4 from VivoSun. All right, we got this Sierra de Levant from Kid Cayenne here, looking pretty good. It's about the same size as the container, so we're going to be flipping to flower soon. And because it's the same size as the container, and flowering usually doubles, if not triples in size, we went ahead and did a top dress. We wiggled in some craft blend in here. So just wiggle that in the first few inches of soil. And then you can put some compost and castings on top, just like a 1-inch layer, which we'll do. And that's going to help speed up breaking down that craft blend and make it readily available to the plant once they get into flower. So like I said, we're going to flip this soon. So we'll just keep training and tucking it. You can do a little bit of super cropping, that pinching and rolling, and bend everything down here. And we will just get this ready for flower. So we just, like I said, we top dressed it, so it'll break down in the next few weeks, and when she flips flower, she'll have that ready available. We're 650 ppfd, 78 degrees, 70% humidity, and we'll keep that all the way into week 3 of flower like we did over here. And then we will drop that down after week 3 once they start forming actual nugs. But that's it for the 4x4. Let's go over here to the 8x8. You can see we don't have any mulch down yet. We had the pill bug issues and the predator mite issues, so we wanted the top few inches to dry out a little bit before we put any mulch down. It's not ideal to dry out the soil, but we want to give the few inches dry out, get rid of any of that larva on top, and then we put mulch back down, because you don't want bare soil. It's just the light's beaming down on it. It's going to dry it out a lot quicker, and the mulch helps with that, and it also acts as a composting component for that green to browns and starts composting as you're growing. We're also adding some humic acid to all the beds. Humic acid is really good for organic gardening. It's a good buffer for pH. It's a great carbon source for microbes to feed on. It's great for everything, aeration. Really good additive to add to the garden is this humic acid. So we got rid of the predator mites. There's still some in there, obviously, because predator mites are beneficial, but too much of anything is not a good thing. And I do think the cover crop was the main issue. If you've been following along in the series, this was all, everything was grown up with cover crop, and we'd lay it down and cut it up, and it just was not breaking down quick enough. So we got rid of it. We're doing away with the cover crop from now on. It's just not beneficial for me to use. It may be for you in your garden, but for me, we're having more problems than good. But you can see these ones are bouncing back really good from the predator mite issues. So we're just bending these down a little bit. We're leaving this gal alone here because she was not happy at all. You can see we got some of this dry stuff up here. This is our own homemade castings. So they're not perfect, but we made them in an urban worm big, just getting rid of our kitchen scraps, our leaves. I mean, anything you want to throw in there to break down. You can look up your own ways to make your own worm castings, but it's really cool to kind of close the loop. We don't have to buy castings as much as we would anymore, because an urban worm big, after 6 to 8 months of making that with a good, healthy amount of worms, you know, 4 or 5 pounds of worms, you're going to get 5 to 15 pounds of castings a month. And that is plenty to get this whole garden re-amended with that. So highly recommend checking out this urban worm bed. We got one right here, and we'll talk about it here in just a little bit. But while I got you in the 8x8, I want to talk about this Trader Grow. We do have the reservoir on. This is I believe this is a 15-gallon or 13-gallon tank. So this will get you a while, especially in this Trader Grow. We haven't had to fill this for the first week, and it's about to here on the level. So you want to make sure to fill it up before it gets to this spout, because then it won't be able to, you know, suck that water down into the aqua valve. I do recommend, because we do top dress, especially in the Trader Grow, as we learned last grow, you're going to have to do some top dressing and feeding. And this is where all the organic matter is. This is where a lot of the feeding roots are going to be. So I do recommend just give her a little bit of mist, because this is a bottom wicking system. So most of the water's at the bottom. So if you water up top, that's going to help the organic matter, the chop and drops, you know, your top dress break down a little bit quicker. You don't have to go crazy, but just give her a little drink so she has some water and moisture to be able to break down what's in there. Over here to the pill bug bed, you see we still got our beer trap here, and it's working great. We still got pill bugs in here, but that's exactly why we're letting the soil dry out a little bit more, to let these pill bugs kind of die off there, and at least back, you know, up on their community size, because they were crazy. We do have a runt back here. This one's doing a little weird growing stuff. I do think that's just because the pill bugs were climbing on it, overrunning it. But these up here are looking a lot better, nice and healthy, nice healthy bladed leaves. I think we got 9 on there, so this is looking really good. We'll just bend this down. I would like to catch this up to our beast of the bed here, but we're not going to be able to do it. So we're going to flip the flower here in the next week or so. We're not doing any top dressing, especially on this bed, because we were high in salts last run when we did our soil test. So we've been watering a little bit extra in this bed, and to leach some of those nutrients out. I know it's not ideal to do that with organic nutrients, but when you get too many of them, it's a good idea to get more water in there to balance that water to salt ratio, because otherwise you're going to overfeed this. Stuff's going to want to lock out. So that's why I said we're watering a little bit more, and we're going to do a soil test on all of our beds, because we've had them for 3 years here, and I just feel like we didn't dial them in well enough with the last soil test. We got over here the Menno Dope Boy Goat Genetics collab. So these are doing great. This is the new take and bake soil we could get in here, and we're going to pull all of this under canopy stuff. So anything below the screen, we're probably going to take off here just to get better airflow and push more nutrients and everything for the plant to produce great top colas on here. So that's all we're doing right now, is we're going to water in some humic acid, and then we're going to add mulch in the next few days, get that soil covered up, holds that moisture a little bit longer. We've got the side lighting going in here, just enough to get underneath here in this canopy to get them lower nodes growing up. We're 650 ppfd on the Explorers from Grandmaster LED, and that's what's great about these Grandmaster LEDs. It's all done on a controller here. So we got it at 40% right now, and we're able to get 650 ppfd, and these are raised all the way to the top. I get a lot of questions about why you need that much light. There's such thing as too much light. Well, this is more for coverage. You can see I'm wall-to-wall coverage. So that's not the point here, is power, it's coverage. So we're, like I said, we're at 650 ppfd, and we're only at 40% of this. So it's a really fun thing to get into. We won't jump all into this controller, but it's amazing controller. So let's go over here and talk about our vegetables. Let's check out the banana peppers and the jalapeno. So this is the banana pepper here, and they're starting to flower, starting to put off little baby peppers here. Let's see if we can get a good look at one right here. So yeah, you can see they're starting to put off little peppers. This is the jalapeno here. This is the first time we've grown these, so we're always looking for tips and ways to do a little bit better. But they're looking pretty good. They're nice, green, and healthy. I don't know if the droopiness is from them just waking up, but they look healthy for the most part. Like I said, we're so new to growing vegetables in here, but I want to actually get more into growing vegetables. We're actually going to put an outdoor garden in here soon. We're going to add that to the channel and grow potatoes and tomatoes and stuff like that outdoor. But we really love these EcoWits. You can see we got them in all of our beds. They're just a really good cheater, cheap cheater to help you get your watering on point. Like we talked about, that 25 to 30% is a little dry. 35 to 40% to 45% is look really good in the soil. So we're about 500 ppfd on the banana peppers and jalapenos, and we're going to look more into if we should raise that a little bit more on, you know, the look of the plant, if we're doing too much. So leave a comment below if you've grown vegetables, if you're, you know, a pro at growing vegetables. Give us some tips. I'd love to learn from you guys. This is the GGS Smart System from Spider Farmer. So it's telling us CO2 back here. It's telling us EC. It's telling us the volumetric water content. We got a water probe back there. PPFD sensors. So this is a really good kit for new growers that want to know everything and just dial stuff in. This system is going to be great. So what's cool about the CO2 is we're not adding any CO2, and we got about 750 parts per million in here just from the family, from animals, from me breathing in here. So it's really cool to see and just to know in the garden. So that's pretty much it, Gromies. The garden's looking great. We're going to be flipping all this to flower soon. We got the girl over here in flower, looking really good, nice and healthy. I'm very, very impressed by Luna All Day's genetics. This is the Moon Diesel in here. We've got CL De Levant from Kid Kaya. We have the Westlow Double Dose Diesel from Westlow. We got some copycat genetics back here, and then we have the Goat Genetics Mendo Dope Boy collab. So looking beautiful, growing. I was really excited. So stick around. Let's go over here and talk about these castings in this worm bin. So this is an urban worm bin here. It just zips closed. It's perfect for in the basement, which we are. And we just add our kitchen scraps. You can see we got some eggshells in there. We got a banana in here we added. So this will break down and it'll catch it all in here. So like I said, you can get 5 to 15 pounds of castings a month in here. So you can see our castings right here. I'm going to add it to the tray to grow because we're going to get ready and add some craft blend to this anyways. So we'll just wiggle that on top here. Take a look at it real quick. Not perfect, you know, but it's our first time making castings, and I think it's going to do great in the soil. And we can always dial it in and add more, you know, additives to dial in more direct towards the medicinal plant. But really cool to see growing, so I'll just wiggle that in there. We'll add some craft blend and she'll be good to go. So I always appreciate you guys come by. Always check out our shorts. We're always doing educational shorts, showing training tips, talking about our worm castings, talking about the vegetables, talking about everything in the garden to help you guys teach me and teach you. And that's what this channel is about, is growing together. I'm not here to show you how to grow. I'm just showing you what works for me and my styles. And if it works for you, that's awesome. And if you have your own style, give me your own inputs. Leave it in the comments. Much love, Gromies. We'll see you next time.